Hey, 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 what's up, everyone? Listen, if you're here, chances are you're trying to break in the cloud, right? Or you're already stuck in tech and trying to get to the next level. So tonight it's about really the mindset shift you must make to actually break into cloud. And this is something that most people never realize that they're missing. Because I always say that the tech can be learned by anyone. It's this that we have to change in order to go to the next level. All right. And I'm excited for this one because I have a student highlight where I have a gentleman, Eric Francis, and he's someone who's gone through the learning curve. He hit the friction, he made the shift, and he just started thinking differently about his role in the market and the changes that matter. So, Eric, I appreciate you being here, man. How are you tonight?
Doing all right so far.
Yeah.
Enjoying the first day of the new year. Hopefully, it'll get better. Otherwise than that Stranger Things finale. Oof.
So I've never watched an episode at all, man. Like my children watch it, friends watch it. I have not watched one episode of Stranger Things at all, man.
It left a lot to be desired. I can
For
tell you
real?
that.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
first
So
season, primo.
so how old is it? Is it like years old?
It's about 5 seasons, about 10 years old or so. I think.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. Well, listen, if y'all here, just put the LUs in the chat if you can hear and see as well. I want to make sure if you have any questions, put them in the comment section as well. Let me cut the comment on here. Okay, there we go. Let me make sure Instagram is ready to rock and roll. Ready to rock and roll, man. So we're just gonna just jump into the meat and potatoes. How about that, Eric? Sounds good.
Works for me.
All
I'm
right,
good with
so
that.
cool. So before you made the progress, what mindset or belief do you now realize was actually holding you back?
Oh man. Well, the mindset that I had before was that I didn't know exactly where to go
Hmm,
before I got started with Level Up. I thought, I could just handle it on my own without any kind of structure. Coming from the military mindset, I came from a the background of I have my task, condition, and my standards. As I've been out of the military, I don't have those anymore. I have to constantly rely on that. Trying to do it on my own doesn't work that way.
hmm,
When I came across Level Up, I suddenly went, okay, this program it's almost like it's tailor made for somebody like myself who has who has the drive to do it, who has the want to do it, but also needs the structure of here's the lesson, you're going to do the lecture, here's the lessons that you're going to learn, here's the project that you're going to build, here's how you do it, and then you're going to present it. Boom, 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 boom. And then you move on to the next one.
hmm,
And then you're building off of that throughout that time. That's what I was looking for. And
hmm.
then I thought, okay, this is perfect. I really it's hard to kind of quantify that any further than just going, you know what, I needed that structure.
Yeah,
That's the but it was also admitting to myself that I needed that.
yeah. And that's some things that like a lot of us go through where
Mhm.
we don't know what we don't know, but we think we know. We think we know what we need, right? And that's one of the things that's super important for us starting the new year, right? So for those of you, if you raise your hand, if you say, "Hey, I'm a person who feels like that as well," here's two things that you need to focus on asking yourself today if you want to make a change in your career. Number one, who do I need to become in order to move to the next level of my career, whether that's landing a cloud role or traditional tech, help desk, whatever you're aiming for. Who do I need to become, right? Because here's the thing: be, do, have. Be the person that does the things so you can have what you want, right? And sometimes other people's journeys may take have a shorter spurt than yours, right? And we have to focus on what we're doing in our journey and who we are becoming. All right. And the second thing that you need to ask yourself is, who do I need in order to make this happen as well? Because once again, you don't know what you don't know, and you're going to need someone, and that person should be doing the things that you want to do and may have possibly been where you've been as far as mindset and everything. So that is the first thing I think everyone should do is January 1st, 2026, 2026. So now is the time to change if you haven't thought about changing and asking yourself those two questions. All right. So let me ask you, like, was there a moment where you realized, oh, okay, because you have experience, you've been in some roles for a while.
Yep.
Was there a moment where you realized, like, oh, this isn't about really passing any exams or degrees or being perfect? And when you thought about that, like, what actually clicked for you?
I think it was, um, I think it was when I realized that in order to actually transition into working into the cloud, it wasn't just about working within the hypervisor itself. It's not
Mhm.
about just working within AWS. You need to learn Linux.
Mm,
I didn't know anything about Linux. I was spoiled growing up. I came from Windows and Mac.
mm.
I loved working on that. I could play Oregon Trail and Solitaire and Doom and
You said Oregon Trail. Yo.
Duke Nukem 3D with the best of them. Um, I could do that all the livelong day. I didn't care. Um, I never got around Linux or Unix because I was always afraid. In the back of my mind, I still am to this day, that if I typed in the wrong command into the command line, that I might blow something up. And if I do that, I could, trigger an outage and, that would
Yeah,
be the end of my career at that point.
yeah,
I
yeah,
did not know that.
yeah.
I got really scared about that. It's But then when I started working within Linux, I thought, "Okay, I go take it slowly, make sure that I follow what I'm being shown." And going, "Okay, so I can go here and I can change into this folder. I can modify the commands this way," jotting all that down, or I'm actually keeping what I quote my quote unquote Linux Bible, which sadly I have not been updating as much as I would like to. Um, but and then going from there into different other aspects of working within the cloud. It's not just Linux. It's working within permissions. It's working with Docker.
Mm.
Never worked with Docker before until I started with Level Up. Didn't even know anything about containers. The only thing I'd ever heard about containers was Kubernetes, and people were going gaga over that. Never knew about that. And then, of course, the obvious was Terraform. Heard about it, saw little snippets of it,
Yeah.
didn't know anything about it, and then started working with it and went, "Well, I like this." I figured I'm gonna go ahead and start learning about this even more and try to get the Terraform certification. Yeah, I tried that twice, didn't work out, so I'm still studying up for that one. Um, Also doing stuff like, what else is there? The AI portions that we started working on. I got really I'm kinda skittish when it comes to doing stuff with artificial intelligence because, well,
As a lot of people.
yeah, naturally, I'm thinking, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, stuff like that. Yeah, whatever. I get really nervous about that, but then I thought, "It's a tool.
Yeah,
Don't be scared of a tool.
yeah,
Come on."
Yep.
And I thought this is gonna be nothing. This is gonna be the way. Obviously, we're seeing that it's starting to become more and more prevalent.
Yeah.
Um, that's when I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm getting my hands dirty into this stuff. It's not about just simply doing the certification tests and, putting it up on the resume and putting it up on the LinkedIn. That's nice. But if you don't get your hands dirty, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah. And I totally agree, man. Because like when I got into the industry, well, when I was trying to get into the industry, and a lot of you know this story, but I got three associate AWS certs within
Mhm.
like 90 something days because obviously that's what I thought it was going to take, right? But when I got into the interviews, like I interviewed for a Linux admin role, not really understanding like, hey, bro, you gotta learn Linux. I'm just going to a role because I'm like, I got three AWS certs. What they gonna tell me? To realize like I know nothing about any other tools outside of those certs
Mhm.
in that vendor, which is AWS, that I was supposed to solve problems with. So when they was talking about Python, they talking about Linux, they talking about Terraform, they're talking about containers, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. The certification never told me
Nope.
about these things. And that's when I realized, like, hey, you have to go get your hands dirty to really, and you got to do it scared.
Mhm.
You have to do it scared. And as we do it and as we rep it out, we become a little more confident over time, right? And we may not be 100% confident because that imposter syndrome in our back of our mind still tells us you don't know anything. And partially it's true because tech changes so much, no one knows everything, right?
Exactly.
So you have to get your hands dirty
Mhm.
in order to just make everything stick. And especially with AI,
Mhm.
this is the part of the industry or where we're going, the trend that's keeping people from progressing
Mhm.
because they're scared. And the thing that you said that really it made me laugh. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing because I
I'm used to
always
that anyways.
when you said you were scared to press a button because you thought you was going to blow everything up. And I
Yeah.
always say, hey, break it because you're not, it's no nuclear bomb that's going to go off and destroy a country because you pressed or you broke something, you typed in the wrong command, etc. This is what learning is about, right?
Oh, you ever
Um,
see the movie Hackers?
I've seen it a long time ago, long
Mm.
time ago.
You push a single button, the Da Vinci virus launches, and suddenly a tanker, goes down somewhere. That was my
This
way
is
of
that
thinking about it. You're like, "Oy."
and and that's funny thing. That's how people still see this industry, right? And I want y'all to know, like, hey, it's okay to be curious and break stuff.
Mhm.
That is the thing that's forging you into the whatever engineer you're trying or whatever technician you're trying to become, right? And no one is going to smack your hand because you're learning something. As long as you don't do it in a production environment. Everything that you're testing and everything needs to be in development or etc. Right?
And
We
also
don't test, and
don't
obviously,
deploy don't deploy into production on a Friday.
yeah.
Don't do that.
Well, and unfortunately, and I'll say, yeah, unfortunately, some people have to learn that hard lesson,
Mm.
and there's been plenty of people who've done that. But right now, it's the time for you. Like I'm gonna give y'all the game. This is the game. Right now is the time that you have all the information available to you, right? So depending on the type of person you are, whether you need structure, whether you can do it your own, there's so much information and so many people that can help that it's no reason for you to sit here and be scared of learning and getting your hands dirty. Okay.
But it's
So
also a matter of keeping those you develop those skills, but it's also a matter of keeping them sharp
yeah,
because for myself, I work within VMware. I don't work within the cloud, sadly. I have to constantly refocus and redouble my efforts to keep those skills sharp.
Mm,
Once you develop them, you got to keep them sharp.
yeah, yeah,
Otherwise, it's going to rust. Or like in the time, since it's the new year, people are thinking, "Oh, I'm going to go to the gym and start working out, and lift weights." Blah 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 blah. Yeah, you start doing that, and you start lifting weights. You start the dieting and all that. You got to keep on top of that.
yeah,
If you don't, you're going to fall off,
yep,
and then you're going to be right back to square one.
yep. And to that point, so number one, I like that skill you had with getting the cat out the way. Number one,
Yeah,
that was a skill you did that so smooth.
I'm used to it by now, and so is he. He apparently likes it. So
So yeah, that was a skill, man. But so for y'all that's looking, here's the thing, and I told this to someone the other day. You have to be extremely coachable as well. And this when you're going into this, you have to. And being extremely coachable means these two things. You have to ask yourself, how much do I really want to learn this stuff? Do I want to learn this stuff as bad as I say I want to learn it? Because this is a learning journey every day. Eric just said, if you're not working in the environment, you got to constantly keep your skill sharp. So, how much do you really want to learn it? And number two, what are you willing to change in order to do so? What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to put uh, that TV down or that your phone down or your iPad down for the next few months or even 90 days? Are you willing to say, hey, I'm not going to afford myself the massive amount of free time that I normally do in the evening in order to learn this stuff? Right. So those are the two things that makes you extremely coachable. And once you understand that, and if those things are 10, then you could go get your hands dirty and you don't have to worry about uh, being scared about it. You just worry about being focused on getting better every single day.
Mhm,
So as we talk about certs, right? A lot of people think that once they get the cert, and I thought this, the job comes next, right?
mhm.
So from your experience, what does that mindset actually miss out on?
Oh, plenty, plenty. From my experience, it wasn't just you get the cert and then the job comes up. For me, I went the traditional route. I mean, I'm 47 years old. I decided to go to university to
Mm,
use up what's left of my GI Bill to pursue a master's degree at the University of Maryland for cloud computing architecture. And I blame my mother for putting that idea in my head. Because also at the same time, I was working at well before the spinoff, I was working at IBM,
okay.
just starting at as a VMware administrator with my manager Shelly Markowski, who I'm still good friends with. She took me under her wing, taught me everything that she knew about VMware, and I thought, okay, well, this cloud thing and this was back in 2018. This
Mm,
cloud thing is brand new from what I'm hearing. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do this. She looked at me and went, "You're nuts." But yeah, you do you, kid. So I went ahead and did it, and I spent about a good year right into COVID, which was not fun. Learning everything about the cloud, especially in AWS at that time, and then graduated, of course. And I thought, okay, well, I got the degree. I got a good GPA. I can't remember. It was now 6 years ago. Maybe that'll show to potential employers, "Hey, I got this. I know what to do." Nope, that didn't prove anything. And I thought, "Okay, maybe I'm missing these mystical, magical certifications that people are talking about. So I'm gonna go ahead and study for those." Got them. I got the AWS, cloud practitioner. Well, I went backtrack that. I tried to go for the solutions architect first. Bad idea. Bad idea. I went and I should have taken the certified cloud practitioner first, and I got that one. And then I took the solutions architect one next, which I did get. And then I thought, okay, that'll be great. No, neither of that happened. I thought, okay, what am I missing? And it wasn't until after doing a massive amount of looking around on the YouTubes, going, okay, what am I missing here? What is this key part of the recipe or ingredient that I'm missing that I'm not getting any traction or getting any recognition or response from recruiters? They're not telling me anything
Mm,
naturally. And it wasn't until I came across Level Up and a few others out on the YouTubes. They say it's not about the degree, it's not about the certs, it's about the projects. That's the mindset that I was missing. It's about actually sitting down at my keyboard and thinking to myself, okay, I'm an engineer, or I'm putting myself in the mindset of an engineer,
mm,
and I'm working at a company. What do I need to do?
mm,
What does the company want me to do? What can I build for the company?
mhm,
And go, "Hey, I got this nice little thing here for you." Or, "You want me to build this? Here it is." Okay, I did not have that mindset at that time until I came across Level Up and went, "Perfect." And also the format and the structure because, again, military mindset, I need order and discipline, sort of a schedulized way of having everything flow.
mm.
And maybe also my ADD, I don't know, maybe. And having that flow all the way down, I thought that's perfect. That's geared for somebody like myself.
Mm.
That's the part that I was missing, and I'm grateful to have done that. And yeah, I'm still working all the way through it. Am I done with everything with Level Up? No, I'm still having to rehash stuff because there's still stuff that I may have missed up before, some stuff that I did not do necessarily correct all the time. I'm gonna redo that and resharpen that skill.
That's what it's
And
all about.
yeah,
Yep, to resharp and keep going back and just finding new ways to solve problems.
exactly. Keep that skill if it's rusted, and I've discovered a few of them have rusted, sadly. Kind of, oil it up a little bit on the whetstone, resharpen it, and then just keep working on it.
Yep. And as we talked about search,
Mhm,
one thing I want to kind of like just give everybody the gems on is when it comes to certifications, right? I mean, at this moment in time, especially in tech, you have the vendors pushing their certs hard,
mhm,
but we don't see a lot of companies actually talking to talent about it because now it's all about how can you solve our problems. However, if you do have a organization that's really hard on you having the certifications, it's because a lot of you may not know a lot of organizations are vendor partners with these CSPs, which is cloud service providers. So they're vendor partner with either GCP,
mhm,
Microsoft, or Amazon, or all three, right? And with these partnerships, you have different tier level partnerships. And depending on where they are in the partnership, or let's say they're a premier partner, which is top tier partner, this means they get a lot of amenities by being a partner with AWS, right? So this could be a certain dollar number of credits for using their platform, um, introduction of their organization into their marketplace so they could get more customers,
mhm,
a lot of things, training off the platform that typically a normal person that enters like skill builder or et cetera can't get is partner training, right? A lot of things. And one thing that is required is they keep a certain amount of certified folks on their team at all times. So what does that do? What does that do for a business? So number one, for a business, that can help a business really increase the investment from their clients as well, right? So if you have a premier partnership and it requires you to have I'm just making an example, 100 people certified with a AWS certification, and you have 100 people, 105 people on your in your organization, you're probably going to require everyone to be certified, right? That's from the engineers to even sales reps, right? Here's the thing. Now you can position yourself to say every single person in our organization is a certified expert,
Mhm.
right? So think now I can now charge, instead of charging for an engineer $125 an hour, since they're certified, I can now charge $165 an hour, right? And so there's increasing their cost or revenue based on partnerships and based on having you um, give them your certifications, right? So if you got 3 AWS certifications, that's great for them. That's 3 they're adding to their org chart to be able to show that partnership. Hey, we got more certified individuals. So I wanted to give y'all a little bit of game of how this thing actually works. So if you have a company that says, hey, you have to, if you get hired, you have to get the solutions architect or even a professional cert in the next 90 days. That's why, right? But going back to what Eric says, and this is what I know from my experience as well. The certifications, they don't make you what it says it makes you, right? So a solutions architect certification doesn't make you a solutions architect. A developer certification doesn't make you a developer. What it does is it teaches you the services that developers or solutions architects use to be able to design or develop solutions for the customer. It doesn't teach you how to develop, how to code, how to uh, test code, build, deploy. They don't teach you none of that. So I think that's the mindset that people have in this industry coming in, where I see all day, like, believe me, I get hundreds of messages in LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, and people saying the same thing. I just got the certified cloud practitioner, and I'm looking for my first job. Well, I got the AWS solutions architect, and I'm actually looking for a solutions architect role, and they become frustrated because they can't find that, or they just not getting any traction.
Yep.
And it's because they haven't shifted their mindset or really learned that it's not even about that. It's about how can you solve their problem.
It's because I think they see that in the job posting
Yeah,
and they go, "Okay, well, I got that now.
yeah, yeah,
And I've got it now. Why I can't get an interview now?
yeah.
Why am I not getting interviews? Why am I not getting, an offer of 6 figures now? Why am I not getting that?" It's because you don't have you've got the cert, you know the service, now you gotta build.
Now you
You
got
gotta
to.
show your potential employer, "Hey," and pardon anybody for, any profanity, "I'm not talking out of my ass now. I can actually prove to you that I know what I'm doing."
Yeah. And you have your stories. That's what it's all about. It's
Exactly.
about your stories. Your stories are going to provide them comfort
Mhm.
with saying, hey, you know what? This person is the right person. And guess what? Sometimes it may take 7 companies you interview with to get to the 8th one and to say, hey, that's the person. Or for some people, it might be the first company they interview with.
Mhm.
However, your journey is not their journey. And whatever your journey is, you just have to believe that everything that's happening to you is a gift. And once you look at it like that, hey, it's just pushing me to the next level because there's a job that I qualify for, that if I were to take it, or if I would have got hired at one of these other jobs that I interviewed for, I would have missed out on something that was so important for my career and myself and my family to be able to grow. Because you never know, your next job just may be the stepping stone that you need to get to the actual role that you always dreamed of. And sometimes
Mhm.
you got to go through that, right? So, all right. So I know we talked about this a little bit, but like, what's something people don't really talk about enough when they're trying to break in the cloud, like mentally or emotionally?
Mm. Taking that, from I would say probably taking that first step.
Hmm. What do you
taking that
mean?
first step. They know that they're coming from a different background. They're not in tech. They might be coming from being a truck driver or a plumber or an electrician or
Mhm.
something. Or they may have just gotten out of the military themselves and
Right.
thinking, well, I was infantry or military police or whatever. They don't know, okay, I I I don't know where to start, or
Yeah.
I'm scared, and or I'm going to come across people who are going to be maybe a little bit more knowledgeable about this stuff than me. It's possible. Don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to yourself. You got to be, for lack of a better phrase, you got to be kind of egotistical and only care about yourself. You're not in this to
Mm,
impress people. You,
mm,
it's like I'm not. When I go to the gym, I don't go to the gym to be in a fashion contest with, the 100 other guys and the gym bunnies there. I'm there to inflict pain upon myself. I'm not there to impress people. I'm not there to, showcase how much weight I can throw around and how loud I can grunt or whatever, or how much I can sweat. I don't care. I'm there to work on myself. I don't
mm.
care what the other person's doing. I don't care what they think about me. I'm only there for myself. Same thing goes when I go to do hot yoga at 5:45 in the morning. I'm there to sweat myself senseless and
And
get
I
my
would,
day
I would
started because
die.
I know the fact that I've got a long day ahead of me
Yeah.
and I'm going to be dealing with problems that are just going to stress me out. I'm going to need a way to kind of stay balanced for the rest of the day. That's the way to
Mm,
do it. And yeah, I got to deal with everybody. I don't mind. They're just they're kind of scared and they're going, I don't know if I can do that. I'm just going to stay in my own little. I don't know if I want to do that. Get that out of your head. Don't do that. You got to have your why. Why do you want to do this? You
mm,
have that as your main goal. Why do you want to get into tech? Why do you want to get into the cloud? Why do you want to learn AWS or Terraform or Docker
mhm,
or artificial intelligence? Why do you want to do that? Well, I want to make more money for my family. Okay, there's your why. Make it happen.
yeah.
It's just like when you go to the gym. You want to have better health for your family. You want to lose weight. Okay, make that your why. Have that
Mm,
as your long-term goal. That's
mhm,
why you want to do it. That's the mentality that you have to have. Have your why of this is why I'm doing this. This is why I am sacrificing time and energy and effort and blood, sweat, and tears and sleep sometimes in order to get this done. That's why I'm doing this. I want to advance my career. I want to move into a different role within my own company. I want to showcase to my manager, hey, I know what I'm doing here. I want to do this. I can prove to my boss, hey, I can not just work with VMware. I can work within AWS or Azure or GCP or all three. I can do so much more. Or
mm,
if not, hey, I can go someplace else and go, hey, I know what I'm doing here. In addition to VMware, I can bring all this to you and in a nice, neat little package. You know, it's uh, they they want to do it, they but they don't have the drive enough to basically put your foot down on the gas pedal and go, okay, hang on, let's go.
yeah. And this, I've seen this over and over
Mhm.
every single day. I've seen it to where people say they know what they need to do, but they
Mhm.
say, you know what, I'm just gonna do a little bit more research. And those people, you know who you are, who says, I'm gonna do a little bit more research. That is the reason you haven't taken the first step
Yeah.
because you're so scared of making the wrong step. Well, you got to understand, like, even if you pivot, even if you do something, let's say if you're going down cyber route, right? Or you're going a tech support route, etc. And you say, you know what, I don't want to do that. I want to do something else. Those skills are not lost.
Mm.
where you pivot those skills and learn other things. And this becomes the stories that you have, right? Because what happens is if you get asked questions in an interview about a role you're trying to get, what they want to do is see your stories and how you solve those problems. And once you tell them your stories and it aligns exactly with the problem they need to be solved, that's it. You are not an employee looking for a job. You are a business looking to build your services and land the best client.
Mhm.
That's what it is right now. You are the salesman for your business. And most of you have forgotten that. Most of you are still working on the 2020 strategy where you think it's just, if I apply to 100 roles, cool. It's a numbers game and you will get callbacks, etc. But what if you could apply to half of that, but also sell yourself and market yourself as the best possible solution, right? So let's say, look at it from this standpoint. Let's say if you took your last few $100s or few $1,000s and you said, you know what? I'm going to build a hot dog shop, right? Because you did the math and you did the research and people have been craving hot dogs in this area. And you said, I'm taking my last to be able to do this, right? Would you take your last and just create the hot dogs and just stand outside like I got hot dogs? Or would you take your last, create the hot dogs, and you say, you know what? I have to make this work. Everyone needs to know I have the hot dogs here. Everyone, everyone that walks down the street, from business owners to organizations to individuals, need to know that Broadus has the hot dogs right here because y'all been asking for it. So why would you not do that for your career? Why would you not take the step, continue to get better, but also scream from the mountaintops and tell everybody the work that you're doing and showing them, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I can do for you. This
Yep.
is how you're going to get the attention. This is how you're going to build the relationships. There's no wrong way to go into tech. I just want to make sure I take the right steps. Hey, if it isn't a thing, it's the thing that leads to the thing, as long as you don't give up.
The other thing is that they might think, "Oh, I might be too old for that." No,
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 never.
take it from me. I'm 47 years old. I've been working in tech for quite a bit, but I'm still learning. You
Yep.
never. That's the thing about tech. It's constantly changing, and I have to adapt.
And,
There's always something new to learn.
yep.
All right.
And,
The
and the
only
crazy
time you ever stop learning is when you retire.
and the crazy thing is, I thought I was too old to get into tech when I was 33.
Oh,
Because I spent so much of my career, I'm thinking in my mind. So think about this. In my mind, I'm thinking like I should have went to college for this. I should have when I came out of university at 22. That's what I should have been doing. So in my mind, I was 11 years late. Like, yo, I'm 11 years late to the party. But now I realize, like, you're never late. You're always on time when you take the steps to improve yourself. Right. So if y'all listening right now, this is an exercise I used to do. I want to do it right now for those who are listening. Whatever it is that you want to be, I want you to type it in the comments. I am a what? I'm a cloud engineer, cloud security engineer. I'm a tech support engineer. I'm a FinOps analyst. I'm a business analyst. Whatever it is, put it in the comments and tell yourself today is the first day of the year. We leaving that old 2025 shit in 2025. 2025 was a not so good year for a lot of individuals. And we don't want, like my friend Kanika Tober said, we don't want to recap. We want to move forward. So I want to see in the chat if you want to be something. Let me see what it is. I am a what? What type of engineer do you want to be in 2026? Or what type of engineer do you want to work towards being in 2026? You will always get your return on investment if you don't quit. The sacrifice that you make from your family, the time you put in, the investments you make in resources will not go to waste if you continue to go. And I promise you, when you land that opportunity that you've been working oh so hard for, Everything that you've been through will not matter anymore. Don't matter if it takes you a year, 18 months, 6 months, whatever. Once you land that opportunity, that 12-month journey does not matter. I don't care. I went to 12 months and I did this and that. It does not matter. So I ain't seeing no comments now. I want to see. I know we got a little delay.
I do.
I am a cloud engineer. I am a business analyst. I am a cloud security engineer. Whatever it is,
Are
put
folks
it in there and tell you.
recovering from New Year's Eve celebration?
Say that again.
Are folks still recovering from New Year's Eve celebrations?
Probably. I mean, I didn't go to bed till like 3 o'clock last night. So yeah,
I went to bed at 10.
Hey, 10 o'clock. I was like, because I'm an early bird. So think about this. Like I go to bed 9:30, 10 o'clock every night.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, 10 o'clock. I was like, hey, y'all, I ain't gonna make it.
Mhm.
But after 12, I had we
I'm
got a
too
little
old to stay up past midnight anymore. It's like, no, I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Look, I am a ever evolving cloud solutions. So this is that's the
That'll work.
mindset. That's the
That'll work.
mindset. Yep. So if you had one last thing you wanted to say,
Mm.
like one piece of advice that you want to share with someone, and this is some advice that probably helped you through all of this, your whole
Mhm.
entire journey, what would it be if I'm a new person? I came like, Eric, just one thing you could tell me that just would change my mindset about everything.
What would it be? Be patient. And also, this goes for some of the folks in my cohort. Don't be focused on how it looks on your resume or your LinkedIn profile right off the bat. Do
Mm,
the work.
mm,
Focus on the task at hand. Worry about how it looks on your resume and LinkedIn later. You're not there to, gussy all that stuff up. You're there to learn something. If you're you but if you're looking for a place to get started, take it one step at a time and
mhm,
breathe and don't get nervous.
mhm,
And definitely don't be afraid to ask questions.
mhm,
Everybody is always afraid of, "Well, I don't know. I don't know if I should ask this, or I don't know if the instructor's gonna think I'm silly or stupid." No, get that out of your head. There's a old adage that was drilled into my head in basic training. There are no such things as stupid questions or stupid answers. It's just questions and answers. If you don't ask the question, you're not gonna know.
not gonna know.
I mean, it's like,
Totally fine.
that goes for any of the teachers that I had with Level Up, from Katoria to Zaire. I mean, Zaire was he was blunt. He basically gave it to you point blank. It's either this or this. Um, Tate was the same way. I didn't. You knew where you stand with him, but ask questions,
Mhm,
even if it's offline, or if you don't know something and you're not getting anywhere with the instructor, ask one of your cohort members. Don't get flustered. Turn to your cohort members or turn to Google. There's that little Google device. You know, Google it and see if anybody can answer the question for you. Do your research. That's the easiest way.
I totally
Don't automatically expect the answers to come easily. You're gonna have to work for it.
yeah, because it's a process.
Yeah.
So that's the thing I would say. I would say be curious and ask questions because the one thing that we hear a lot from partners that hire folks is they want people to be able to sit in the meetings and ask questions because that's what they got hired for.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people think because I'm new and they got hired, they don't think I'm that valuable to ask me a question. When reality is they're looking for you to bring something to the table. So for you, step by step, be patient, like Eric said, ask the questions. And I'm gonna add on one more thing. Do it scared. Do it scared. Don't let the fear stop you from taking that step because you would never take it. And you will allow fear to rob you of a beautiful career that you could have had that could have changed the trajectory of your family's life.
Don't let the fear or the pressure of that
Yeah.
get in your way, because
Yep.
ultimately, when you're on the job and something does go wrong in production, because somebody may have deployed something in production on a Friday and it broke, you're gonna be under the gun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
get used to the pressure.
Yep.
Hate to
Yep.
say it.
Yep. No, absolutely. So, Eric, man, I thank you for this conversation, man. It's pretty
Anytime.
dope. It's been a while in the making, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you really just jumping on. And for those of you, you know, look, there's so much information out here. Just start somewhere,
Mhm.
right? Start with cloud fundamentals, start with IT fundamentals, start with just anything that is dependent on you learning what you need to learn to get the job that you want. Okay. And from there, 2026 will be a beautiful year for you. Even if you don't land the opportunity that you want this year, at least you're going towards the goal, right? Abs are made in the kitchen and by strengthening the core muscle. And you have to do it consistently and get better every single day. And then one day you'll put the shirt on and realize, wow, this shirt does not fit like it used to. And that's the same thing in tech. While
It's
you're
not steroids.
screaming and you're kicking and you think you're not learning anything. And then over time, you realize how strong you have become. And that is what I would say to you to start 2026. You're stronger than you realize. All you have to do is just prove yourself and do it scared. All right. So, with that, I thank y'all for joining us. Um, and let's continue just to level up in 2026. This is day one, and
Literally.
literally day one. And everything that you want is yours as long as you work towards it. Okay. So once again, thank y'all. See y'all. Love y'all. Let's continue to rock out. See you later.
Cheers.